Well, hello there, my fellow league in-betweeners. I mean, we are in between leagues. That's what we are. As of yesterday, we are officially between leagues. So 0.5, Fate of the Vaal, Last of the Druids, whatever you want to call it. It's history. Now, we are 3 days and some hours away from the 0.5 Runes of Alders League, Return of the Ancient. And I mean, what can I say? I mean, the last couple of weeks has been crazy. I mean, there's been so much like speculations, people have been prepping, and still the excitement is growing to even further heights, my dudes. So yesterday, we actually had a patch. So mainly the reason we had this patch yesterday was to migrate all the league characters to the standard realm. So if you don't know how this works, your characters will be migrated, or they will be moved, basically, at the end of every league cycle. Your characters will be moved to the standard realm. So basically that means all of the characters that you created in earlier leagues or in the league that we just wrapped up, they are now moved to standard league. Basically that's what happened, yeah, around like 12, 13 hours ago. Right? So, no more Fate of the Vaal. That also means we can't play No More Temple until Friday, when the temple is actually going core. So there has been quite some updates the last couple of days. I've been super busy prepping and doing things behind the scenes the last couple of days. And you know what? As the title of this session concludes, or as the title of this session states, 0.5, the changes and additions makes me want to play everything. Basically what that means is that it makes me want to play freaking every Ascendancy. It's going to be a long league. We know that there is, at some point, there is going to be like a reset for the league, like an economy reset. Not going to be like very big changes. Not anything like this 0.5 patch. Like, I think this 0.5 patch is something that we are going to remember for a long, long time, to be honest. So I'm just thinking, like, if it's even possible, to actually go out there and freaking play every Ascendancy. Like, what I'm tempted to do is basically, like, delete a bunch of my characters that is now residing in Standard. Just make sure that we kind of strip them down from any good equipment and such. And just freaking set up my amount of characters, or like set up my character slots to be ready to freaking try everything. So I'm gonna need like 20. I'm gonna need like 20 character slots to do this. And I'm pretty sure I have it. I'm also trying not to get like, because I feel like since we are still very much still in early access. I'm trying not to get too caught by this, by the fact that what people usually do is for a league start, you create or you really, really think about like a league starter, like a specific build or a specific idea that you want to go for as your first character in the league. I feel we are in such like a great we're in such a great situation now with zero point 0.5 that it's like things are wide open when it comes to just like learning like the core basics of like the different ascendancies. Like things are probably going to be changing, but still just having that core feeling of an ascendancy, like I really love just playing through and kind of figuring out that puzzle for basically every single ascendancy. And I really want to have like some type of opinions also on every single ascendancy. Like I really, really want to dive deep and kind of try to learn as much as I possibly can. To have like some to have some opinion, like some to be able to have some real opinions about stuff when stuff is uh, potentially changing or being like reworked. Like I really want to have this deeper understanding of things. So I'm leaning very much at this point when we are 3 days away from league launch. Like I'm really leaning into um, this situation where I kind of really want to try to take a little bit of a different approach this league. Like there are so many endgame changes like that I really want to see and I really want to experience, but I don't want to get stuck in a situation where I feel like I'm just like endlessly grinding the end game on one character and I'm not like experiencing a lot of the other additions. So we have two major additions, right? When it comes to like the classes, we have two new ascendancy classes. We have the martial artist and we have the spirit walker. They are both introducing some very interesting stuff into the game. I would really, really like to explore both of them, but I don't think I'm going to be starting any of them, to be honest. Question is, if I'm going to put myself in a situation where I play something that's familiar, or if I do something just totally fresh and just really, really focus on the changes to the changes themselves, like the main changes. So no matter what type of class, no matter what type of ascendancy you actually play, there are going to be some fundamental changes to a bunch of things. One of the cool new things is that they have added, and they've also actually removed. I'm pretty sure they removed some passives, right, from the tree, and they've added some new ones. So I found this cool thing on PoE Ninja. They have actually added a comparison between the 0.4 tree and the 0.5 tree. So here we can actually see like outlined what has been changed. So we can see that they have added 112. Okay, hold on. So I'm not capturing this. I'm actually not capturing this. Hold on. Let me do like this. Now I'm capturing it, right? Yes. Okay, so now it's on screen. Sorry about that. So as we can see here, we have the comparison of the trees. And all the green ones, all the ones that are like highlighted as green here, they are the new nodes. So they've added 112. They have removed 20. And they have changed 222 nodes. That's quite a lot. So just picking like the starting point, or just picking, I mean, it doesn't matter actually what we pick here, I'm pretty sure. Like the nodes, like it doesn't matter what ascendancy we pick here, like the nodes is still gonna be the same here. So it really doesn't matter what we pick. But what we can see is the new nodes. So I really wanted to have a look. I really wanted to have like a little deeper look at this. So I'm just quickly going to make myself a little marker here. Tree updates. Start. So let's make this into like a little thing of its own here. So here we are, my dudes, with the updates to the 0.5 passive tree. 20 removed nodes, 112 added, and 222 changed. Let's have a look. So I'm just gonna start on the right side here with these ones. Okay, so what are these? Okay, so these are just some straight up increases to evasion and energy shield. Okay, some deflection. And faster start of energy shield recharge together. That's quite nice. More of the same thing here. And more of the same thing here. Okay. Increase evasion rating and energy shield. What is this? First principle of the hollow. 20. Okay, so this is a notable right here, right? 20% increased evasion rating, 20% increased max energy shield, cold plus 5% cold res and plus 5% lightning res. Okay. So a very defensive node right here. Okay, what about this? Hollow Keeper. 50% reduced effect of curses on you and 35% reduced effect of non-damaging ailments on you. Okay. First teaching of the Keeper, another notable. Fire res plus 5% fire res plus 5% chaos res. Gain deflection rating equal to 8% of evasion rating and also 10% faster start of energy shield recharge. Okay, so I really like these. I really like these nodes right here because it seems like they're trying to really include deflection rating. Like it seems like they're really trying to include this more, right? They're really, really trying to include more of the deflection rating. Like it has kind of like a direct, much more like kind of like direct connection to evasion rating, which is really interesting. I like that the noticeables are also giving us like just in general more stuff. So it's not like so earlier like it kind of at least felt like you were getting something very specific, but now it seems to cover the noticeable seems to cover more, especially these ones. Like, I don't know if that's going to be like the case with everything here, but like with these ones, that's kind of how it feels. So, so this portion right here, like it basically like wasn't existing here on the opposite side of the tree. Sorry, on the other tree here. So it's this little area right here that's kind of like been filled out a little bit. Right here. And they've kind of like just moved this section, the volatility section. It's kind of like just moved a little bit down here. Okay. So let's just work our way kind of like down here to this section right here, which is on this side, like it's not there. So this is a new little cluster here of nodes. Okay. Let's have a look what this is. Okay, so attack damage and companion damage as chaos. 6% increased attack damage. Companions gain 4% damage as extra chaos damage. Okay. So this is basically the same for these first three ones right here. So that's like, if we get all of them, it's like, it's 18% attack damage and 12% chaos damage. Or 12% chaos damage gained for companions. Extra chaos damage. Okay. Okay, so then we got the first notable of this cluster here. Bond of the Mamba. Gain 4% of physical damage as extra chaos damage, and companions gain 12% damage as extra chaos damage. Okay, so this is really leaning into chaos damage here, which is kind of interesting. And then we just have this little node right here, which basically does the same as the first three ones here with the added attack and chaos damage. And then we have Bond of the Viper. 16% increased skill effect duration, and also companions have a 40% chance to poison on hit. Okay, so this is interesting. So these are like very companion, I feel like very companion focused nodes right here. Focusing on like poison and chaos damage for your companions. I mean, obviously we, the player, are also getting some attack damage by getting this. We are getting a little chaos damage ourselves, but like mainly attack damage. So I think this is interesting. Like, I think this cluster is way more interesting than like earlier clusters. I think that's really really nice, actually, to be honest. There has also been a change here, as we can see, like on this side, there has been some nodes that has been removed here. So the stun threshold, if no recent stun, the deft recovery, and another stun threshold if no recent stun, they have been removed. But there has been some new ones here that has actually been added. Evasion and companion movement speed. 10% increased evasion rating, and companions have 8% increased movement speed. Notable here, Bond of the Cat. Companions have 20% increased movement speed, and also 5% reduced movement speed penalty from using skills while moving. Okay. And another one right here of the evasion and companion movement speed. So that's interesting. I wonder what the reasoning behind like removing these stun nodes here are. I wonder what the reasoning is for, or like what the reason is for that. If it's just like moved, or if something has been changed to like stun just on a baseline, which I really hope it has. Because like stun is can be such a pain, to be honest, in the game. Okay, and then we have another addition here. New things that have been added right down here by the big spear cluster here. So as we can see, like there was nothing here in 0.4, but this has been added. So another one of these like noticeables that are really focused on like companions here. So we're starting here with some area damage and companion area of effect. 6% increased area damage. Companions have 10% increased area of effect. And second one of this, so getting these two in total, 12% increased area damage and also 20% companion increased area of effects. Wrapping it all up with this notable right here, Bond of the Ape, 12% increased area of effect, and also companions have 30% increased area of effect. So really leaning into like companion stuff here. I love I love the names of this. It's so cool. Because it kind of like puts this like picture in my mind of like having the effects of an ape, like a huge area of effect, which is kind of cool. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving down here, where there's also been added this little cluster right here. As we can see on the earlier tree here, there is basically nothing here. There is nothing here. So what is this? What has been added? Okay, so attack speed and companion attack speed. So 2% increased attack speed for us, the player, and 6% increased attack speed for the companions. With a choice, I mean, we can get it all, but we can start with getting more attack speed ourselves, or we can give the companions 10% increased attack speed. Wrapping it up with Bond of the Wolf, which gives us 6% increased attack speed, and gives companions a 50% chance to gain Onslaught on kill. So Onslaught grants 20% increased skill speed and 10% increased movement speed. So companions get 20% increased skill speed and 10% increased movement speed here. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So also we have right up here, there has been some changes. So we used to have this little cluster right here, but this has been like really, this has really been changed into something different here. So it used to be deflection. It seems like a lot of like deflection stuff here. What have they changed that into? Okay, so it is basically changed, but there is also stuff added here. So initially, like these first three ones right here is gonna give us gain deflection rating equal to 8% of evasion rating. So basically right here we have the chance to get like 24% just off the bat here. Same here, so we can get 48 by just getting these 6 right here. 48 gained deflection rating equal to evasion rating. And some noticeable here. The red blade discipline. Plus 8% to fire res. 20% increased stun threshold. And plus 30% of armor also applies to fire damage. And the Brine Rot Ferocity, 4% increased attack speed, 8% increased lightning resistance, and 30% of armor also applies to lightning damage. Okay? And the Mute Wind Agility, 3% increased movement speed, 8% cold resistance, and plus 30% of armor also applies to cold damage. Wrapping it up with the Path of Renegade, 8% increased, plus 8% to Chaos Res, and plus 20% of armor also applies to Chaos damage. So I really, really like... resistance heavy. Like a resistance heavy and defensive heavy cluster right here. So in total, it is 10 nodes. But getting those 10 nodes right here will give us 48%. 48%. No, is that 48? Hold on. Yeah, it is 48. So 48% deflection rating equal to evasion rating. Fire resistance, lightning resistance, cold resistance, and chaos resistance. But also the armor applies to chaos damage, right? So armor is also protecting us, you know, or a portion of the damage we are taking, basically to the resistances, is also being applied to the armor, right? Interesting. So right up here, it used to be in this little area right here. So in this area of the old tree, we now have these 3 new nodes right here. So it's attack damage and companion damage as cold, so increased attack damage for us, but also companions gains 4% damage as extra cold damage. Same with this one. So these are basically the same. So if we get both, we can get 12% increased attack damage and 8% damage as extra cold damage for companions. Finishing off this little 3 nodes here is the notable Bond of the Owl. Gain 6% of damage as extra cold damage. And companions gain 12% damage as extra cold damage. Okay. Very much also tied into the companion stuff here. So a lot of the stuff we've been going over now has been tied to companions. So this little cluster right here kind of has been changed a little bit. So as we can see on the opposite side here of the tree here, or on the new tree here, we can see that right here, this little like swirl right here has kind of like been moved a little bit on this side. And we have some new nodes right here. It seems like it's armor and evasion. It is. Okay, let's have a look. So just some 12% increased armor evasion rating. Some 2% lightning res, 8% increased armor evasion rating. Some 2% cold res, and 8% increased armor and evasion. 2 noticeables here. Stackwall's Hide. It's 5% lightning res and 25% increased armor and evasion rating. Stackwall's Talon. 5% cold res and 25% increased armor and evasion rating, and up in the middle here, just 12% increased armor and evasion rating. I think it's really cool that, so like just in general, I feel like there's more weight to a lot of these nodes. It just feels better in a way. And here, right here, there's also a node added, or I guess it's like on both sides of like this earlier little swirl here that's kind of like moved down here. We have some 30% increased damage with hits against enemies that are on low life. And we have that on both sides of the swirl, basically. So this is like the increased damage of to enemies on low life. This whole thing here is based on like damage versus low life enemies. Which is basically, it basically was, you know, on the old one as well. But now it just like feels like its own little thing here. Because it's important to have these, to get these to like when you are, especially like when you are playing or trying to play a bunch of different things, like it's important to kind of like have this be a little memorable, you know, having these clusters be a little memorable. Like when you think about it, yeah, okay, so let's do some like low life stuff. It's good if it's kind of easy for us to remember. Oh yeah, so we gotta go get the swirl, right? We gotta go get that little swirl on the tree, right? Okay. Okay, so we did cover this Bond of the Wolf down here. So we've basically covered this portion of the tree, right? Like the lower right portion. Let's just kind of like narrow it in a little bit here, and let's go for like the top right portion here. So not a lot of things being added to like the top right portion of the tree, but there is some stuff. So let's just do that before we move on to the left side of the tree. Okay, so we have some changes here. There has been some attack speed added up here, and also some increased cost efficiency. Then we have an addition over here on the deflection and energy shield. So this is right here. So it used to be only 4 nodes in this little cluster. Now there is 5. And the 5th one is gaining deflection rating equal to 5% of evasion rating, and also 4% faster start of energy shield recharge. So I really love the faster start of energy shield recharge. It's like one of my favorite. Because what it does, right? So as your energy shield is depleted, like as you're taking damage, you there is like a really like a visual aspect to energy shield that I really like. So I've been talking a lot about this. Like I hope that we're gonna get some more visual representation of the evasion rating and the armor as well. Hopefully, hopefully also on other, you know, like defensive types. I mean, it's just nice to be able to kind of monitor and see like how much of my defenses are actually being chewed into right here. So the energy shield recharge, what that does is that as soon as your energy shield, as you take a hit to energy shield, there is a little kind of like a little delay right there before your shield starts to charge back up again, right? So what the faster start of energy shield recharge does is that it's basically like shaving off that delay, like making it not that long. Like your energy shield quickly goes quick or more quick. It go if okay, yeah. So it's faster. It goes back up faster. So it kind of like, yeah, cuts some of that delay basically. And we have some right close to the middle on the top here. We have some new nodes right here. They are being added kind of like around the climate change notable cluster here. And let's see what they are. Puppet Master chance. So 15% surpassing chance to get a Puppet Master stack when you use a command skill. Okay, so what's a Puppet Master? What is a Puppet Master stack? Okay, hold on. Okay, can we see this? Okay, I won't get any explanation to what the Puppet Master stack is here. Okay, can I do like a quick search here? Okay, so what is a Puppet Master stack? It allows minion and command focused characters to generate temporary stacks. These stacks provide direct buffs to minion damage and survivability. Okay. So we generate Puppet Master stacks by casting or triggering command skills. Because casting these abilities often incurs movement or cast speed penalties, the loop rewards you by granting scaling, damage, and survivability buffs for your entire minion army as you manage them in combat. Okay. So basically it's a buff, right? It's a buff that makes our minions stronger and more survivable. So getting these two is giving us 30% surpassing chance to gain the Puppet Master stack when we use a command skill. Also, this is a bigger one here that gives us 35. So that's 65% surpassing chance getting these three. And another, okay, no, you know what? Yeah, so this is a 65 chance, but this is the increased effect of the Puppet Master. So we can also get like the 30% increased effect of the Puppet Master. So it's right up here on the tree, which is kind of like not really in like the very specific like minion focused area, because the minion focused area is like way more on this side, right? So on like the top left side of the tree. So this is an interesting positioning right here. Okay, so we've basically been through the left side of the tree right now. So let's just go to the right side, and I'm just going to start from the bottom here. We're just going to do kind of like this portion right here. Not a lot of things added to the bottom left side of the tree, but there are some things, and let's start with this quite big cluster right here. So armor applies to elemental damage and deflection. So 5% of armor also applies to elemental damage. And we're also gaining deflection rating equal to 5% of evasion rating. Okay. So basically same here, just a little change to like the amount. Same here. Same here and here. But then we have a notable here, Knight of Chitus. Gain deflection rating equal to 12% of evasion rating, 15% increased block chance, and 15% increased parried debuff magnitude. Knight of Izaro. 12% of armor also applies to elemental damage. Gain deflection rating equal to 10% of evasion rating. Banner skills have 15% increased aura magnitudes, and also 25% reduced armor break taken. So this is interesting. So this is like armor also applies to elemental damage and deflection rating together. That's really interesting. And then we have the Knight of Tarkus here. 20% of armor also applies to elemental damage. 30% increased presence area of effect. And 15% increased glory generation. Okay. Interesting. So I have not been playing like a lot of this side of the tree, to be honest. Like this is basically like the outer, like the outskirts of the warrior. Kind of start up here. Like the little outskirts downwards, you know, on the tree. Interesting. Yeah, so I do think it's really interesting the way that they are fusing together, like especially this Isaro one, fusing together like the armor applies to elemental damage and deflection rating. I think that's really interesting. So moving on to the other change that's, or the other addition up here. This is right here. So this area is empty on the current tree, but we will be getting some armor and slow effect nodes here. 10% increased armor and 5% increased slowing potency of debuffs on you. Okay. More of the same, and one notable here, unbreakable. 15% increased armor, 50% reduced armor break taken, and 10% increased slowing potency of debuffs on you. Okay. So that's just being added right here. So not a lot of things being added to the left down side of the tree. Top left side of the tree, though, there are quite some additions here. Let's have a look. So starting with, yeah, let's just start on the bottom here. So right here, there has been added kind of like a connection between this side right here, like this main path right here, and this main path right here. So there is now a connection like from this side to this side, which I think is really nice. Because if you decide, you know, to go either like down this main path or up this main path, it's going to take you, it's like if you want to get something in the middle here, like you're going to have to like go up here and into the middle, or like up here and down to the middle, or over here and up, you know? So instead of having to do that now, we can kind of go into the middle of one of the sides here, and then we can go to the other side here, as we can see with these connected ones here. Okay, so let's have a look at what they are actually adding here. Armor and energy shield. So 5% of armor also applies to elemental damage, and also the faster start of energy shield recharge. Nice. Same here. And also same on like the other side here. So in total, like 5 nodes, that gives us armor to also applies to elemental damage, and also the faster start of energy shield recharge. So the two bigger ones here, the But Hair's Storm, 12% of armor also applies to elemental damage, 8% faster start of energy shield recharge. Archon recovery period expires 10% faster, and also 10% increased effect of Archon buffs on you. Okay. Then the Dominious Providence, plus 8% of armor also applies to elemental damage, 12% faster start of energy shield recharge, and 25% reduced armor break taken. Okay. Okay, so that's what's kind of like connecting us here. So the Archon buff, like, I need a reminder here. So Archons, they are a type of buff that augments your prowess with spells. There is an Archon buff for all elemental damage. It's the Elemental Archon. By default, each Archon buff lasts 10 seconds, but will be removed early if you use a non-instant attack. You can only gain Archon buff while you already have one, or during a recovery period after you lose one, which lasts 20 seconds by default. Okay. Yeah, I'm not like really leaned into like the Archon stuff, but yeah. Obviously, like it's a buff to our spells. So right just up and right of these new like connector nodes right here, we have some changes. So there is some excuse me, there are some stuff that has been removed here and basically been replaced, I guess. So excuse me. So it used to be faster start of energy shield recharge here. Some quite big increases here, or like 15% faster shield recharge. They have been replaced with, let's have a look. Been replaced with like plus 5% armor also applies to elemental damage. And like the faster start of energy shield recharge has really been reduced. It's been reduced by like 11% on each node here. But it's basically like adding more different stuff. So instead of just like being one pretty kind of big, like 15%, instead of it being like 50% one, 15% one thing, it has changed into like, so let's take this one for example, the covering ward. So here it used to be 25% increased energy shield recharge rate, and also gain 20 energy shield when you block. This has been replaced by 15% of armor also applies to elemental damage, 10% faster start of energy shield recharge, which is kind of like a nerf to the start start of the energy shield recharge. But we are also getting, yeah, like I just said, the armor applies to elemental damage, 15%. Also getting a 10% increased block chance. Also gaining 10 energy shield when you block. And also recovering 10 life when you block. So instead of like having this only focus basically on one defensive type, it is now focusing on multiple, which is really cool, because that's kind of like the experience that I've had, at least when like pushing well up in the 90s on my characters in 0.4. I feel like one of the things that I've really learned about defenses, as they are right now, at least in PoE2, is that we have to focus on more than just like one defensive type, right? Like going the hybrid approach is like, that's really the way to go. So I really like the changes there that they are doing to a lot of these nodes, like that they are involving more things and are not just like super specific like one thing, but they are actually more things in each node. I really like that. More different things, which kind of, in theory, makes me think that these nodes are way better, basically. Okay. So just moving to the left here, right here, there is this empty area on the old tree here that has been replaced with this new cluster right here of 5 nodes. Let's have a look. So another one of these armor also applies to elemental damage and faster start of energy shield recharge. A lot of these specific nodes, as we were just talking about, like it's not only giving you faster start of energy shield recharge, but it's also giving that armor also applies to elemental damage. So here, these ones right here, they basically have they are singles, like they only focus on one thing. So this is 6% faster start of energy shield recharge, and this one is 8% of armor, also applies to elemental damage. And this is armor and energy shield, which is just 12% increased armor, 12% increased maximum energy shield. And then we have this Cyril of Tarts Light. Plus 10% of armor also applies to elemental damage. 10% faster start of energy shield recharge, 10% increased light radius, 10% increased accuracy rating, and 10% increased area of effect. So what I'm thinking when I'm seeing this node is like, I really feel like getting this one is going to be like noticeable, right? Like you are going to notice that increase of the 10% of armor applying to elemental damage, and also that 10% faster start of energy shield. Like the light radius, yeah, but the accuracy rating and the area effect, 10% increased, that should also be noticeable. That's what I want. A lot of this, like I want us to feel that when we pick this, it's like there is a reason for picking it, right? And I also want us to like notice if we spec out of it and pick something else, I want us to feel it, right? So just moving a little bit up right here, this seems like this little cluster right here. It's it's some recoup things here. And it seems, yeah, it seems like it's this little cluster right here that used to be only like a four socket, not four socket, but a 4 node little cluster here focusing on recoup. It seems like this has been moved up here on the new tree. Oops, sorry. And a couple of nodes has been added here. So just like the increased speed of recoup effect here, 8% increase, and also this 20% increased speed. Okay. So basically, just like some added speed of recoup being added here. Okay. Moving up to this quite big little, yeah, this big little thing here. Yeah, so a lot of the things has been removed here. So this entire thing has been reworked, it seems. So the way it used to be was we would get some stun and ailment threshold from energy shield here. And some increased energy shield and mana regen. And just some max mana. That's what it used to be. Let's see what it is now. More of the freaking armor also applies to elemental damage. And the basically like the nerf to the amount of the energy shield recharge here. It really seems like they've kind of figured out that a balancing change that really was kind of necessary was like making armor also apply to elemental damage. Like they really, it feels like they've kind of like concluded with that. Like that's one of the things that are kind of like maybe not very well balanced, and if they give us these extra nodes, we can kind of counter that in a way. It seems like they've also concluded that like the just like the um effectiveness of like the energy shield and the recharge rate has been like, so like they don't want us to go for very like picking all the freaking energy shield recharge nodes, right? They don't want us to like just do one thing. So they want to kind of like reduce the effects of the recharge on a bunch of these nodes, but also add that little armor also applies to elemental damage to kind of compensate. Which is very interesting because there are so many of these added nodes here. More of the same. More of the same here. And the two bigger ones here, Morgana, the Storm Seer. 8% of armor also applies to elemental damage, 10% faster start of energy shield recharge. You cannot be electrocuted, and also 50% reduced effect of shock on you. Okay? Yeah, that's a juicy one. And Connell the Hunted. 15% of armor also applies to elemental damage, and 5% faster start of energy shield recharge. Okay. Interesting. So really just more of this, armor applies to elemental damage. And obviously the kind of like the nerf to the amount of percentage of the faster energy shield recharge. Okay, moving on down here, we have some more like recouping stuff here. So we used to have in this area, there used to be this little 4 cluster here that's removed now. Minion revive speed, energy shield recharge, and just energy shield recharge rate. Okay, this is removed. This is totally removed. Being replaced, so those 4 nodes kind of like being replaced with recoup, basically. They are removed. This entire thing here is removed. But we are getting 7 recoup focused nodes here. So 8% increased speed of recoup times 4 here. Or times 5 in total here. So that's 40% increased speed of recoup if we get all 5 of those, and then we have the bigger ones here. Buffs on you expire 10% slower, and also 20% increased speed of recoup, so that's 60 in total if we get this one as well, to the increased speed of recoup. And another one here, flow of life. Debuffs on you expire 10% faster, and also 20% increased speed of recoup, so that's 80% speed of recoup, and some buffs expiring slower, and some debuffs expiring faster. Okay, nice, interesting. That's very, like, understandable and to the point, So getting all these is like, it's definitely gonna give you something. Like, you're really gonna, you are gonna notice that 80% increased speed to the recoup. And you're also, yeah, you're probably gonna feel the buffs and the debuffs, like not as much obviously as like the 80% recoup speed, hopefully, but yeah, noticeable. noticeable things. Okay. So moving up here, there has been added some 6 nodes in this area right here that wasn't there before. Let's have a look at what they are. Okay, so this is more Puppet Master chance. The surpassing chance to gain a Puppet Master stack, which is like the buff to the minions, right? Both the damage and the survivability of the minions. We have the 15% increased mana cost efficiency of command skills, and also +1 maximum stacks of Puppet Master here. And more surpassing chance to gain Puppet Master stack. Puppet Master, 25% increased duration of each Puppet Master stack, so more like customizability over your chance to get a stack, and also like the effects of the stack when it's actually occurring. And also 20% increased effect of Puppet Master here. Okay. And that leaves us with the last changes up here, which is all the way up here to the very top. A little bit to the left of the very top here. And these are added minion damage and command speed. So as we can see here on the old tree, I mean, this is not here. This is not present here on the left side here. So this is the area. Okay, please remove this. Thank you. So it's this area right here. Minion damage and command speed. Minions deal 6% increased damage. Minions have 8% increased cooldown recovery rate for command skills. And we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4 of the same right here. So that's basically 24% increased damage for minions and 32%. What did I say? It's 4. Yeah, so 24% increased damage and 32% increased cooldown recovery rate for command skills. Getting these 4. And then we have the Archon of Undeath. 15% chance of gaining Archon of Undeath when you use a command skill. Okay. And the 15% increased effect of Archon buffs. And Embodiment of Death here. Immune to bleeding while affected by an Archon buff. Okay. Interesting. So that's all the additions that we have been going over right now. And that was like mainly what was my goal here. I mean, there has been a lot of things that has been changed. Something has just like been removed. Main things that have just like straight up been removed are these stun nodes down here. It's the leech right here. It's the minion revive speed and energy shield nodes right here. It's the energy shields one up here, which has really been, you know, just been reworked basically. They have been removed, replaced with something else. There is still some like energy shield recharge rate aspect to it, but like some big changes. And as we can see, like all like the yellow ones, all the yellow ones around here are yeah, they have been changed basically. So that's pretty much it for like the additions. Like the changes themselves seems to be just good, you know? Seems to just be some good changes. I don't think I'm gonna go through like every single one of them. Every single one of the changes. I just quickly wanted to go through wanted to go through the additions here. what's being added. And I mean, we can dive deeper into the very changes at a later point, but that's going to be it for this little look right here of the what's actually been added. I hope you are excited for it. And I'm Mounts and Fairy Tales. If you like what you see, hit me up with a like. If you want to see more content like this, I mean, consider subscribing. That's going to be it for now, and thank you for watching. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that quick little video as I'm streaming here. So, additions to tree 0.5 end. So I'm not ending my stream. I'm just like putting up my markers so I can edit this a little bit later and put it up as a separate video to this stream. So I mean, I could go through the changes as well. I mean, since I'm already, since I'm already in here, I could go over the changes. Okay, let's go over the changes as well, my dudes. So not only the additions, but let's go over the changes as well. I think that's I think that's just fair. I mean, since we're already in here, let's have a look at the changes, okay? So I'm gonna make another video going over the changes here. So I'm just gonna add a new description. So changes to tree, start. And I'm just gonna say once again, my dudes, what's up, my dudes? This is Mounts and Fairy Tales. We have had some changes to the 0.5 passive tree. So I'm here having a look at the changes. Here we have just went through the additions to the tree. So if you want to check that out, go and check the check out the video called the additions, the new additions to the 0.5 tree. Now we're going to cover the changes. So all the nodes here that are yellow on the tree, they mark some changes. So I'm just going to start with the top right portion of the tree right here, and we are going to cover the changes. So let's just start on the very top right here with the patient barrier. So this has been changed. So I'm guessing, like, what is stated here in red. Let's just have a look on the other side here. Okay, what is the change here, actually? Okay, so we're actually just gonna see the changes here, basically. So on the left side, we are not going to be able to see, so on the old tree, we are not going to be able to see any of like the additions, but we are going to be able to see what has been removed, but we can also see the changes. Okay. So I'm guessing the red one indicates that this has been cut, right? I'm guessing the red numbers means that this has been cut. So it used to be 60% increased maximum energy shield, right? But now we have 20% slower start of energy shield recharge and 50% increased maximum energy shield. So there has been a 10% buff to the increased maximum energy shield. Like, is that the only thing here? Okay, so that's kind of weird that we can't actually see. I wish that like the changes on the left side was kind of indicating how it used to be, and like the things on the right side was like the new things. So right now, I'm just assuming. I just have to assume, I guess. I'm just assuming that that's the case here. Okay, so moving on here to the attribute. So it used to be plus 10 to any attribute, but now it's plus 5 to any attribute. So that's a nerf right there. Energizing Archon. So it used to be 40% increased energy shield recharge rate while affected by an Archon buff. But now it's 20% faster start of energy shield recharge while affected by an Archon buff, and also 30% increased Archon buff duration. Like that's how I'm reading this. Eldritch Battery, some changes to Eldritch Battery, converts all energy shield to mana, doubles mana cost. That was the old version of it. Now it converts 100% of maximum energy shield to maximum mana. And mana costs are doubled. Isn't that basically the same thing? It's just phrased in a different way. So converts all energy shield to mana. Change to convert 100% of maximum energy shield to maximum mana. Isn't that basically the same thing? And doubles mana costs is mana costs are doubled. Bro, what is the actual change to this? Is it only changed, has it only changed like how it's worded here? Okay, so we have the drenched here, 40% increased chance to shock. This has also been, there has been a little change here. Gain 5% of lightning damage as extra cold damage. And now it's gain 5% of lightning damage as extra cold damage. Okay, so what has been changed? Is it the capital D in damage right here that's been changed to like a lowercase d? Is that the only thing? Is that the only thing? Like, I kind of feel like I want to pull up the passive tree here, because we can pull up this, right? Because this is not the changed tree, right? So let's have a look at this real quick. Or is this actually the changes here? Hold on. Okay, so we're looking at the drenched one. Okay, hold on. Drenched. Where is the drenched? We can't. Can we search here? Yeah, we can search. Okay. Okay, so it's this one. Okay, so it says 40% increased chance to shock, gain 5% of lightning damage as extra cold damage. Okay, so that's the node here. So it is basically what's been changed is just the wording here, I guess. Because it is the same thing. It's gaining the 5% of lightning damage as extra cold damage. So it's just the wording, I guess. Okay. Let's have a look at the EB as well. I think it's the same thing. So this converts 100% of maximum energy shield to maximum mana. Mana costs are doubled, right? Converts all energy shield to mana, doubled mana cost. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it seems like it's basically only the wording that's changed here, right? It's also big changes to the effect. Okay, so we have covered these three right here, right? Okay, so this refocus, I mean, this is more like understandable here, right? So the 30% increased energy shield recharge rate has been removed, right? The refocus. But we get a 20% increased mana regen rate and a 20% increased mana regen rate while stationary. So does this mean that the increased energy shield recharge rate is cut? Is that what it means? Because this is the old tree, right? Or this is the current tree. This is the 0.4 tree. So this will be updated, right? Because this is the old. This is the old one. I can see it here down on these specific nodes here. This is the old tree. So this is not a 0.5 tree. This is. So I'm not quite sure if like the red text here is being removed, or if it's just like it's just there in a different color to kind of like separate it from the other effects. So basically what's being added here is the increased mana regen rate while stationary, because that is not included here. I guess that's the change, right? It's so the big change here is the fact that the mana increase rate while stationary is added, right? But if it means that the 30% increased energy shield recharge rate is removed, I don't know. But it seems that's the case. So here we have some changes. So it seems because this is now called mana regen. So the new effect here is mana regen. It used to be called energy shield recharge, right? But it's now called mana regen. So I think this means that the energy shield recharge rate is out the window and the increased mana regen rate is in the window, I guess. Same thing here and same thing here. Seems like the blue text is what's staying, the red text is what's leaving or like being removed, and the green is what's being added. That's what it seems like. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Okay, energizing Archon. 20% faster start of energy shield recharge while affected by an Archon buff. Okay, so this stays. But the 40% increased energy shield recharge rate while affected by an Archon buff is out the window. But there is a 30% increased Archon buff duration. That's how I'm reading this. That's how I'm understanding this, basically. Okay. So did we go through this? Okay, so energy shield delay. So the faster start of energy shield recharge is heavily nerfed here by 9%. Same with this one. Same with this one. And here we have 40% faster start of energy shield recharge out the window, 50% reduced energy shield recharge rate out the window, replaced with 10% reduced energy shield recharge rate, and also 20% faster start of energy shield recharge. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works now. Red one's out the window, blue unchanged, and green is added. I'm pretty sure, my dudes. Okay, so we got some armor break stuff here. So armor break effect renamed from armor break. So it used to be a 20% increased armor. Sorry, it used to be break 20% increased armor, but now it's 10% increased effect of fully broken armor. Okay. This used to be called critical damage. It used to be a 10% increased critical damage bonus, and it's now changed to 10% increased physical damage. Okay. Tempered Mind, 20% increased physical damage. That stays. Plus 10 to strength, that stays. 20% increased critical damage bonus is out the freaking window. And added is 15% increased effect of fully broken armor. Okay. Echoing Pulse. It used to be final repeat of spells has 30% increased area of effect. Now, it's just echoed spells in general have 25% increased area of effect. That's a good change, isn't it? So I'm not sure, like, if it used to be that, like, the early repeats, because this specifies, right, the final repeat of spells has 30% increased area effect. But now so instead of that final one having 30%, now all the echoes have 25% increased area effect. Like, I'm not 100% sure how this used to work. It seems like this is a buff, right? It seems like this is a buff, I think. Effervescent. Okay, so used to be 4% increased cast speed for each different non-instant spell you've cast recently. Is now 4% increased cast speed for each different spell you have cast in the last 8 seconds. Okay. So this is changed a bit. Deflection and energy shield delay, it's renamed from deflection. So it used to be only gain deflection rating equal to 6% of evasion rating. That's out the freaking window. Now it's gain deflection rating equal to 5% of evasion rating and the 4% faster start of energy shield recharge. Yeah, changed. Same with this one. This used to be 15% increased evasion rating. It is now 12% increased evasion rating and 12% increased maximum energy shield. Mending deflection has had an addition here, so 15% of damage taken from deflected hits recouped as life stays, and 20% faster start of energy shield recharge when not on full life is added. Okay. So it used to be only hits recouped as life, I guess, and now it's also the 20% faster start of energy shield recharge when not on full life. Okay. So we got these changes down here. Deflection and energy shield delay renamed from energy shield delay. So this used to be a straight up 15% faster start of energy shield recharge. It is now gain deflection rating equal to 5% of evasion rating, and also the faster energy shield recharge. Yeah, so again here, with the deflection rating equal to evasion rating, and also the so basically, like, it's quite a big nerf of like faster start of energy shield recharge, but it's adding the deflection rating. Same thing here. Same thing here. This is the Soul Meridian. Used to be, so this is renamed from Quick Response. So it used to be 20% faster start of energy shield recharge and 30% faster start of energy shield recharge when not on full life. Once again, my dudes, gain deflection rating has been added equal to 10% of evasion, 8% faster start of energy shield recharge, and also 15% increased mana cost efficiency. So this is so this has been, yeah, quite the change to this one, to be honest. So a huge nerf, basically, to the start of the energy shield recharge, right? But we are gaining that deflection rating. And the mana cost efficiency. Okay. So here's another faster start here, which was just like straight up 15% faster start of energy shield recharge. Yet again, my dudes, more deflection rating equal to 4% of evasion rating, and also 4% faster start of energy shield recharge. So that's a 11% nerf to the start of the energy shield recharge. But yeah, we are getting deflection rating, my dudes. Okay. Yeah, we covered this. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes, so I just have to yeah, keep my notes straight here. Okay, so we have the Spectral Ward. So it used to be +1 maximum energy shield per 12 item evasion rating on equipped body armor, and is now changed to +1 maximum energy shield per 12 item evasion on equipped body armor. Okay, so what is the difference here? Okay, so I think this here it's basically no effects are being changed. It's basically just like the wording of it. So instead of saying 12 item evasion rating on equipped body armor, it now says 12 item evasion. Right? So not so it seems like that's only like a change in like the wording here. Okay, shadow dancing. So used to be 60% faster start of energy shield recharge if you've been stunned recently. It is now a 40% faster start of energy shield recharge if you've been stunned recently. So that's a 20% nerf. 30% used to be a 30% increased evasion rating if you've been hit recently. It is now 40% increased evasion rating if you've been hit recently. So basically, there has been like a nerf of 20% to the faster start of energy shield recharge if you've been stunned recently. And there is a buff, a 10% buff to the increased evasion rating if you've been hit. So that's a nerf, and it's also it's a nerf to the energy shield, and it's a buff to the evasion. A little balancing tweak there. Okay, so evasion and energy shield delay renamed from evasion and energy shield recharge. So it used to be 10% increased evasion rating. It is now 12%. So that's a 2% buff. Used to be 10% increased energy shield recharge rate. It is now 4% faster start of energy shield recharge. So these are two things that is kind of like a little bit confusing in one way, like the increased recharge rate and the faster start. So the increased recharge rate, that means when it starts to recharge, it's like how fast it's actually recharging. But the faster start is basically like the reduced delay from like when it's not charging to when it starts charging, right? So that's a little bit confusing, like the increased rate and the faster start. It's a little bit confusing, but yeah, that's the difference right there. So the recharge rate is out the window here, but the faster start is being added 4%. Okay. And this is basically the exact same thing here. So 2 nodes of that changed. Okay, did we cover these? No, we didn't. Okay. So let's have a look at these ones. So this is evasion renamed from energy shield delay. So basically here it's just a 15% faster start of energy shield recharge is out the window, and we are getting increased evasion rating. Replacing that energy shield recharge with evasion rating, basically. Okay, here we have evasion and energy shield delay renamed from energy shield recharge and delay. So what is out the window here is 8% increased energy shield recharge and also 8% faster start of energy shield recharge. 12% increased evasion rating added, and the new value here for the faster start is 4%. So that's a total nerf to the increased energy shield recharge rate, and it's a nerf to the faster start. It's a 4% nerf to the faster start of the energy shield, and it's an added 12% increased evasion rating. Energy shield delay, renamed from energy shield recharge. So basically here it's the increased recharge rate that is out of the window, but there is this 6% faster start of energy shield recharge changed into that. So increase out of the window, faster start, buffed or added, right? Okay, this is basically the same as this first one right here. It's the nerf to the increased recharge rate, and also the nerf to the faster start. So the recharge rate out of the window, faster start nerfed by 4%, and 12% increased evasion rating added. Then we have this chakra of breathing. So 20% of increased evasion rating while you have energy shield. So this is staying. I guess this is unchanged. What is out the window is the 1% increased energy shield recharge rate per 4 dexterity. That's out. And also added is 20% faster start of energy shield recharge when not on full life. All right. Also, it's also a change up here. Deflection and energy shield delay, renamed from evasion and energy shield. So here we have 12% increased evasion rating out of the window. We have 12% increased maximum energy shield out of the window, and we are gaining deflection rating equal to 5% of evasion rating, and we are getting the 4% faster start of energy shield recharge. Okay, so the minion life and minion revive speed renamed from minion life. So this has had an addition to it. So it is changed. Like, it's not totally reworked. It is changed. Minions have 10% increased maximum life, but they also now revive 8% faster. That's how I'm reading this. We have some remnant stuff over here. So it used to be remnants have 10% increased effect. Now it's remnants you create have 10% increased effect. Okay. Same with this one. So I guess that's basically just like the text, right? That's being changed here, right? Yeah, we did this, we went over this mana region up here. So let's just move a little bit down here. So we have some changes down here as well to the stun and ailment threshold from energy shield, which used to be energy shield recharge. So it used to be 15% increased energy shield recharge rate. That's out of the window. Now we are getting gain additional ailment threshold equal to 8% of maximum energy shield, and also getting additional stun threshold equal to 8% of maximum energy shield. So this one used to be 15% faster start of energy shield recharge. It's now 6% faster start of energy shield recharge. That's a nerf. It's a 9% nerf right there. 9% nerf. Rapid recharge used to be 25% increased energy shield recharge rate. It's now 12. That's a nerf. 25% faster start of energy shield recharge is now also nerfed to 12%. So, bro, it's basically the effects are halved, basically. The effects are halved. So, stun and ailment threshold from energy shield renamed from energy shield recharge. Yeah, this is basically the same as these two, or this one right here, right? It used to be 15% increased energy shield recharge rate. That's out the window. And it's the gained ailment threshold equal to max energy shield, and the additional stun threshold equal to max energy shield. Totally replaced here, basically. Okay, so we have one of the super early, energy shield delay nodes here. Heavily nerfed right here. So it used to be 15% faster start of energy shield recharge is now 6, so that's a 9% nerf. And the exact same here. So you used to be able to get like 30% faster start of energy shield recharge right here. Now you only get 12. Bro, that's a nerf if I've ever seen one. Okay, so we have the mana flask charges used here. It's renamed from energy shield recharge and mana flask recovery. Used to be 10% increased energy shield recharge rate and 10% increased mana recovery from flasks. That's out the window, and it's now 4% reduced flask charges used from mana flasks. Big nerf right there. Yeah, same thing here. So we got two of those nodes, same thing. And then we got the arcane mixtures. So this one gives us mana flasks, gives mana flasks 0.1 charges per second. It used to be a 25% increased energy shield recharge rate. That's out the window. And we have 10% increased, so added, we have 10% increased cast speed if you've used a mana flask recently. Energy shield recharge rate getting some serious changes here on these nodes. Like, it seems like they've totally like moved. So a lot of the nodes that are being added are actually kind of like giving a lot of the energy shield recharge rate back, kind of. But it's like the big chunky ones are basically out the window. It almost seems. Okay. So what's the change down here? The crashing wave. So it used to be 30% increased damage if you dealt a critical hit in the past 8 seconds. It's now 25% increase. So that's a nerf, my dudes. That's a 9% nerf through crashing wave. 9% nerf confirmed. Another energy shield delay here that has been nerfed by 9%. Mystic Stance, also a removal of 30% faster start of energy shield recharge. It's now a 12% faster start. So yeah, that's 18%, bro. That's almost 20% of the faster start of energy shield recharge removed here. 30% increased stun threshold while on full life remains, but 18% of the faster start of the energy shield recharge out the window, my dudes. Out the window. Another nerf here, 9% nerf here to the faster start of energy shield recharge. Shimmering is getting some changes here. 3% increased movement speed while you have energy shield. This stays. 20% increased energy shield recovery rate if you haven't been hit recently is out the window, but we are getting 10% faster start of energy shield recharge, and we're also getting 20% increased evasion rating if you haven't been hit recently. So basically the energy shield haven't been hit recently is being replaced by the evasion rating if you haven't been hit recently. And also, yeah, faster start of energy shield recharge here. Okay. Okay, what is this? Immortal Infamy. A nerf to Immortal Infamy. 10% increased energy shield recharge rate is cut. But we are getting added is 6% increased life recovery rate. Recover 2% of maximum life on kill and plus 10 to intelligence stays. But increased energy shield recharge rate is out the window. Okay, so what's this up here with the on the this is some quarterstave changes here. Okay, so the only thing that's changing here basically is the wording. So it used to be 30% increased defenses while wielding a quarterstaff, but what defenses means is basically armor, evasion rating, and energy shield. Right? So instead of having it say 30% increased defenses, it's now specified that it's 30% increased armor, evasion, and energy shield while wielding a quarterstaff. So basically, there is no changes. There's no changes to the defensive aspects of this at all. It's just the wording of it. So they've just changed the wording of it. Okay? Shattered Palm. It used to have a 10% chance to daze on hit. That's removed. But there is added 20% increased critical damage bonus. The 30% increased stun buildup is staying. So now it's 30% increased stun buildup and 20% increased crit damage bonus. But the daze is out the window. Okay, Staggering Palm. So it used to have 20% increased physical damage. It now has 25% increased physical damage. So that's a buff of 5% of increased physical damage. Used to have 20% increased critical damage bonus. That's out the window. It now has a 10% chance to daze on hit. And the 20% increased knockback distance stays. So basically, crit out the window, a 5% increase to the physical damage, and the 10% chance to daze. Okay? Disciplined training. So I guess this is another one of those like wording things, right? So it used to say combo count loss occurs 20% slower, but now it's skills lose combo 20% slower. So basically it's unchanged. It like the effects of it is unchanged. It's just the wording that's being changed here, basically. Oh, snap. Okay, so here we have some changes to the hollow palm technique. Okay, let's have a look. So it used to be can attack as though using a quarterstaff while both of your hand slots are empty. Unarmed attacks would use your quarterstaff's unarmed attacks that would use your quarterstaff's damage gain physical damage based on their skill level, 1% more attack speed per 75 item evasion rating on equipped armor items, and plus 0.1% to crit hit chance per 10 item energy shield on equipped armor items. Okay, so what is the difference here? Is this also like a wording thing? So it says here on the first one here, it says, okay, so hold on. Let's pin it. It says physical damage based on their skill level, but now it says based unarmed physical damage replaced with damage based on their skill level. I think this is just a wording thing. So it's the physical damage based on their skill level has now been changed to base unarmed physical damage replaced with damage based on their skill level. It's a wording thing. I'm pretty sure it's a wording. It's a wording thing because I can't see any change to hollow palm technique here. It's just wording of it. Okay, moving on down here to deflection and energy shield delay. So here we used to have gain deflection rating equal to 6% of evasion rating. It's now gain deflection rating equal to 5% of evasion rating and also 5% faster start of energy shield recharge. So there is a 1% nerf to the deflection rating we're getting here. But there is also the addition of the faster start of energy shield recharge. Okay, this is a buff to deflection right here. It used to be gain deflection rating equal to 6% of evasion rating. Now it's 8%. That's a buff. 2% buff. Same here, 2% buff. This one used to be 15% increased energy shield recharge rate. It's now 6% faster start of energy shield recharge. Okay. So it's kind of replacing the recharge rate for the faster start. Same thing with this one. And then we have the energizing deflection here. Used to be 5% increased deflection rating. It is now 6% increased deflection rating. So that's a 1% buff. Used to be 30% increased energy shield recharge rate. That's out the window, and it's now 12% faster start of energy shield recharge. So basically, it's like the recharge rate has been kind of cut here, and instead we are getting the faster start of the recharge. Okay. Subterfuge Mask used to be 2 to evasion rating per 1 item energy shield on equipped helmet. It is now +1 to evasion rating per item energy shield on equip helmet. So that's a nerf. Used to be +2, now it's +1. Okay, we got the low tolerance here. 60% increased effect of poison you inflict on targets that are not poisoned. Changed to 60% increased magnitude of poison you inflict on targets that are not poisoned. This seems like a rewording. This seems like it's doing the exact same thing, but instead of saying increased effect, it now says increased magnitude. Right? The magnitudes of a buff or debuff are the values of the stats it applies to the target. A buff or debuff with higher magnitudes is more powerful. Modifiers to the magnitude of buffs or debuffs come from whoever applies it and are multiplicative with modifiers excuse me, with modifiers to the effect the buff or debuff has on the target. So how I am understanding it, like I could be wrong here, but how I am understanding it, it's just basically it's just a rewording. Like the effect is the same, right? The effect of the node is the same, even though it says increased effect. Or sorry, increased magnitude instead of effect. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. Okay? So we got some deflection and evasion here. So we have a buff here. We have gain deflection rating equal to 4% of evasion rating. It used to be 3. That's basically all the changes to this one. The increased evasion rating is staying the same. And we got the exact same thing here. So it's just 2 nodes here that are being buffed with 1% of deflection rating equal to evasion rating. So it's just a little 1% buff on each node there. We got the reaching strike. 25% increased melee damage stays. 2 to melee strike range is now being placed with plus 0.2 meters to melee strike range. So I guess that's also like the same thing as before, like it's the same effect, it's just like phrased differently. So instead of saying +2, it now says plus 0.2 meters. Right? I think that's the case. We got some shield defenses here. Yeah, this is the same thing. So instead of saying increased defenses from equipped shield, it now says increased armor, evasion, and energy shield from equipped shield. This is just a pure rephrasing. So instead of saying the general thing, which is defenses, they are saying what defenses actually are, what they are actually counted as, and it's the or what's actually counted as defenses, and it's the armor, the evasion, and the energy shield, basically. That's the base defenses. So instead of just putting them all into one word here, they are actually spelling it out. Adaptable assault. Projectiles have 25% chance to fork if you dealt a melee hit in the past 8 seconds. That stays. And here is also another change to the wording here, I think, because it says +4 to melee strike range if you dealt a projectile attack hit in the past 8 seconds, but now it's plus 0.4 meters to melee strike range if you dealt a projectile attack hit in the past 8 seconds. So it's basically just a different way of saying it. So instead of saying +4, just +4, now it's plus 0.4 meters. So I'm thinking, like, effect-wise, nothing has changed. It's just the wording of it. Okay, we have cooked. Same thing here. It's the 25% reduced defenses, which is now rephrased to 25% reduced armor, evasion, and energy shield. Like we talked about before, defenses is like the general wording of it. Like if you really wonder what defenses are, they are armor, evasion, and energy shield. And to not get this confused, to make this more clear, they've decided to not say defenses in a general term anymore. They've decided to include every single one out of the three big ones: armor, evasion, and energy shield. Effects remain the same. We're still getting the 60% increased crit down bonus, but we are losing the armor, evasion, and energy shield 25%. That's what this means. Some buffs here, down here to deflection. So used to be 6%. Used to be gain deflection rating equal to 6% of evasion rating. It's now 8%, so that's a 2% buff here. A couple of nodes. We have the trusted kinship. You can have two companions of different types. You have 30% less defenses, and companions have +1 to each defense for every 2 of that defense you have. Okay, so this has been changed to you can have two companions of different types. 30% more reservation efficiency of companion skills, and 20% less reservation efficiency of non-companion skills. Okay, so that is actually some some changes right there, isn't it? Or is the excuse me, is the 30% no, actually this is some changes, because it used to be you have 30% less defenses. That means you have 30% less armor, evasion, and energy shield. So that is actually cut, right? I mean, it is the 30% more reservation efficiency and the 20% less reservation efficiency of non-compat. Okay, so this is changed. The 30% less defenses is actually out the window. That's actually out the window here. Okay. So, I mean, it could be like, yeah, I mean, like, there are some, it's a little bit complicated here to explain this, but I'm pretty sure that I understand it. So it means that the companion skills, they have more reservation efficiency, right? But your non-companion skills have less reservation efficiency. Also, just some straight up more buffs to the evasion ratings here. Sorry, the deflection rating equal to evasion rating. So we have 4 more nodes here that has +2% to the deflection rating equal to evasion rating. Defenses and companion life here. Okay, so yeah, so this is also just a change here to the wording here. It used to be 10% increased defenses while your companion is in your presence. It's what we talked about many times earlier here. It's the general term of defenses is now being fleshed out, so it says armor, evasion, and energy shield. Just give me a second. Some noisy little minions here, my dudes. Yeah, so basically this is just like another one of these like rewordings here, or just to make it more clear. That defenses is armor, evasion, and energy shield. If you didn't catch that already. Okay. What is this? Yeah, we did the trusted kinship. Yeah, that was a little bit complicated, that one. Okay, so what? Okay, so we are actually basically moving down a little bit now to the down right side of the tree here. Yeah, these are the buffs here to the deflection rating percentage. Okay, so here we have some changes right here. So this is renamed from deflection. It's now renamed to evasion because it used to be gain deflection rating equal to 6% of evasion rating. Now it's just a straight up 15% increased evasion rating. Same for all these three ones here. Gain so the deflection rating is replaced with just more increased evasion rating. And bottom here is similar to like the ones up here. Like it's just 2% increase of deflection rating equal to evasion rating for 3 nodes here. Companion revive speed. So minions revive 15% faster if all your minions are companions. This is out the window. Now, companions have 12% increased max life, 10% increased armor, evasion, and energy shield while your companion is in your presence. Okay, that's nice. That's kind of cool. So the reviving here is changed, right? But the amount of life of your companions is increased, and also your armor, evasion, and energy shield, your base defenses are boosted by 10% when your companion is in your presence. Okay. All right. So here we got a couple of more of these deflection, these like 2% gained deflection rating equal to evasion rating. So up from 6 to 8% for these two nodes. We got the wild cat here. Used to be gain deflection rating equal to 10% of your evasion rating. Here it is gain deflection rating equal to 12% of evasion rating. The 40% increased evasion rating while moving stays, and so does the plus 10 to dexterity. So all in all, just a 2% buff there to the deflection rating equal to evasion rating. Okay, moving down here. Yeah, more of the just plus 1% to the deflection rating equal to evasion rating here. And a couple of these 2% increases to deflection rating right here. Okay, we got some shield defenses here. Same thing here. The just the general term defense has been replaced with armor, evasion, and energy shield. Nothing else is changed. Just the wording of it. Same thing here. The basically the only thing that's changed here is like so like the defenses here. It's the general term here. Instead of just saying defenses, it now says all the three of them: armor, evasion, and energy shield from equipped shield. Also, it used to be 2% increased attack damage per 75 item armor and evasion rating on the energy on equipped shield, and now it doesn't say evasion rating; it just says evasion. Okay, so evasion rating is kind of like out the window. Like now it's just evasion, right? I think that's the main thing here. So nothing is changed but the wording here. Same thing here. Moving on to the captivating companionship. It's the same thing. Only thing changed here is the wording of the defenses. Same thing here. Defense as a companion life. The exact same thing. We have some stuffs up here. It's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Armor, evasion, and energy shield instead of just saying defenses. Okay. So these have been changed, starting with the strong chin here. It has 20% increased armor and... Oh, okay, so this actually says evasion rating now. Why? Why doesn't it just say evasion? Because there is no difference between rating and evasion, right? Okay, this one has 15% increased armor and evasion. Same with this one, 25% increased armor and evasion rating. So armor and evasion getting buffs here. Rest of the effect stays. Things that's changing down here is it's a nerf of 1% to the deflection rating equal to evasion rating. Also, we are getting a 10% increased armor. It's the same with this one. This one has a buff. Goes from 15% increased evasion to 10% increased evasion. But we're also getting the plus 5% of armor also applies to elemental damage. This is the same as the two ones up here. The 1% nerf to the evasion rating, or sorry, the deflection rating equal to evasion, but the plus 10 increased armor. Then we have the brush off, which now gives us 15% increased armor. So we are preventing plus 15% of damage from deflected critical hits, but we are also getting... So that stays, that was always there, and now it's... Well, that was already there, but now we're also getting 15% increased armor. Okay. Okay, so we got some attack damage up here. So we're getting a buff here. We're getting a 2% increased attack damage buff. Increased accuracy rating stays the same. And this is similar for all these three. And then we got the last one here, which is actually a 10% increased attack damage buff. So going from 10% to 20 increased attack damage. Accuracy rating while moving stays the same. Okay. We got some leeching stuff up here. A nerf to the amount of life leached here. So this is a nerf of 2% on those two nodes here, from 10% to 8%. This is also a nerf to from 8 to 6% on these two. The armor evasion rating stays the same. This is also a nerf on the fortifying blood here, from 20% increased amount of life leached to 15, so that's a 5% nerf. But the 40% increased armor and evasion rating while leeching stays. This one we already covered. So basically that's it for the... I think we've done the entire right side now. So let's just move on to the left side here. Changes to the left side up here. So elemental damage and energy shield delay. So it used to be the 8% increased energy shield recharge rate. It is been replaced with the 4% faster start of energy shield recharge. Elemental damage stays the same, and it's the same for all of these four nodes. So basically, it's the energy shield recharge rate out the window, replaced with the faster start, the 4% faster start. Rest stays the same. Okay. Let's move down here. Dependable ward. So used to have 25% increased energy shield recharge rate. That's out the window. Also used to have 25% faster start of energy shield recharge. That's halved from 25 to 12%, but gaining 8% chaos resistance. So this is also basically, I mean, this is a huge nerf here of 9% to the faster start of energy shield recharge from 15 to 6. And that's basically the same for all these 4 nodes right here. So some 9% of nerf here to the faster start for all these 4 nodes. Okay, moving on to some armor and energy shield here. This one is also nerfed. 8% nerf here to the faster start of energy shield recharge. Armor stays the same. Same here. So this is an 8% on each node here. This is quite big. Quite a big nerf here. Ancestral Bond, unlimited number of summoned totems, and totems reserve 75 spirit each. Here it is, your totem limit is doubled. No cost or charge requirements for placing totems, but they reserve 75 spirit each. Okay, so they are no longer unlimited. Right? It's just that the limit is doubled. Right? That's the biggest change here. Right? Used to be unlimited. Now it's just like doubled. So I guess like it means we can have 2 now. It's not unlimited, but we can have 2. Right? Okay, so the faster start of energy shield recharge while shapeshifted has gotten a nerf here from 15% to 10. That's a 5% nerf. Same with this. 5% nerf to the faster start of energy shield recharge. Just making sure that I don't miss the ones towards the middle here. So here is another one of those nodes that has been kind of reworked here because it used to be increased energy shield recharge rate, but that's out of the window, and now it's changed with the faster start of energy shield recharge, basically. Same thing here for all these 3, and this one in the middle. Same thing, recharge rate is out of the window, but it's the faster start that it has been replaced with. So it really seems like in general, like there has been a lot of changes to the recovery rate, and like a lot of changes to that, kind of leaning way more into like the faster start of the energy shield recharge. Same thing down here. Used to be the faster. Oh, sorry, no, this is actually a little bit different. So this used to be 15% faster start. It's been nerfed by 9%. Same with this. Same with the, okay, so all these 3 are the same. 9% nerf to all these. No longer faster start. No longer 15, but 6% faster start of energy shield recharge. Got the Essence of Infusion here. Used to be 40% increased energy shield recharge rate and 10 plus 10 intelligence. Now it's 12% faster start. So the whole freaking increased rate here is out the window. And the faster start is what it's being replaced with. Also plus 2 to intelligence here from 10 to 12. On this side, the increased energy shield recharge rate is just being replaced with intelligence here. Okay, I was just making sure I didn't lose these in the middle here. So now for some more armor stuff here and some more blocking. Okay, so it used to be 25% reduced defenses. Now it's only 20%. So, okay, so first of all, it used to be defenses. Defenses are, as we know, by now, my dudes, as we know, it's armor, evasion, and energy shield. So this seems like, yes, we are getting some reduced armor, but we are not getting the reduced evasion and energy shield here. So that's interesting. That's actually kind of like an interesting thing right there. This one, shield block, renamed from shield defenses. 25% increased defenses from equipped shield. That's out the window, and now it's just a 5% increased block chance. So the shield used to be pretty strong here, I guess. Or like the 25% increased defenses. That's out the window, we're not getting that, but we are getting the increased block chance. Same thing here. Used to be 100% increased defenses from equipped shield. That's out the window. Now it's 30% increased block chance and also 20% reduced maximum energy shield. Okay. So we're getting a huge increase to block chance there, but actually losing energy shield for that one. Core of the Guardian. Another one here, where like the defenses just have been the increased defenses has been chucked out the window for and being replaced with some block chance. Same thing here. Okay. So the fortified ages here used to be increases and reductions to armor, also applies to energy shield. Recharge rate at 40% of their value. This is just out the freaking window. And now it's just 100% increased armor, evasion, and energy shield from equipped shield. Okay. Yeah, like more understandable, not as complex, and yeah, I mean, it's better, right? Okay, we're gonna change down here to the Craving Slaughter. Used to be +8 maximum rage for each time you've used a skill that requires glory in the past 6 seconds, up to 5 times. It is now +6 maximum rage if you used a skill that requires glory in the past 20 seconds. Okay. Yeah, it just seems like it's an easier way to... So like it is a little bit lost there to the rage, right? Yeah, so really, like the whole glory thing, like I'm you know, I'm not played a lot of like glory stuff, so this is a bit over my head here, so I'm just gonna skip this. Hopefully, if you are a player that's like really that this node is really important for you, hopefully it's some good changes for you, I guess. That's all I can say. Okay, so shapeshifting elemental ailment chance. So used to be 20% increased chance to inflict elemental ailments if you have shapeshifted to an animal form recently. Now it's 20% increased elemental ailment application if you have shapeshifted to an animal form recently. Yeah, so I guess this is just like a wording difference, right? It's just a wording difference. I think that's the case here. So instead of just saying chance to inflict ailments, it's more like increased elemental ailment application, right? Or is it actually or has it actually changed? Like is the chance aspect of it removed and now it's just like I would think that the ailment application is a different way to say chance of the ailment, right? Not 100% sure, but that's what I would think it is. Okay, we got the resolution here. Another case of this just rewording here. Taking the general defenses and turning them into armor, evasion, and energy shield. So basically, it's this. Nothing has changed, just the wording here. Okay, so this is a nerf here to the faster start of energy shield recharged while shapeshifted. So it used to be 15, now it's 10%. Another nerf here to the Devoted Protector. So used to be 15% starter, faster start of energy shield recharge. It's now 10. That's a little nerf right there. Same here. So here we have the Iron Slippers. So +3 to armor per 1 item energy shield on equipped boots is now +2 armor per 1 item energy shield on equipped boots. So that's a little nerf right there. Used to be 10% reduced slowing potency of debuffs on you. It's now at 12% reduced slowing potency. So a little nerf to the armor and a little buff to the reduced slowing potency. This is just a wording here change. Same here. Instead of defenses, it's armor, evasion, and energy shield. Commanding rage. Every rage also grants you 1% minion attack speed. That's out the window. It's now every 5 rage also grants you 2% increased minion attack speed. Okay. Because that's a little nerf. But yeah, it's every 5 grants you 2% instead of every 1 grants you 1%. Little nerf. Greatest defense. What is this? This is just a change in the naming here. It's evasion instead of evasion rating, as I can see. Defenses, just a change in the naming here. Same here. And it's the same here. So here is a nerf. It's a nerf to the amount of life leached from 15% to 12. So that's a 3% nerf. It's the same with these. Chillproof now has 10% increased armor alongside all the other effects. Heavy armor used to be 150% of strength requirements from boots, gloves, and helmets, also added to armor. It is now gain armor equal to 150% of total strength requirements of equipped boots, gloves, and helmet. Okay. Okay, so instead of wording it as 150% strength requirements from these things, it's now gain armor equal to 150% of total strength requirement of... Yeah, it's a different wording. It's a different. So sometimes like I can really get these things like mixed up here. So so how I'm reading this is like it's the exact same effects. It's just a different way to put it. So it's not a huge change to this. It's the same effect. It's just worded differently. Right? This is another one of those wordings here. Guided hand. Okay, so on heavy stunning, a rare or unique enemy, your next attack with 4 seconds will be ancestrally boosted. That's also been rephrased to the next attack you use within 4 seconds after heavy stunning, a rare or unique enemy is ancestrally boosted. So no difference here, just the wording of it. Okay. Apply debilitate to enemies 3 meters in front of you while your shield is raised. Now you apply debilitate to enemies 30 meters in front of you while your shield is raised. Bro, that's quite a big change. That's like 10 times the debilitate. Okay, so what is debilitate actually? Debilitate is a debuff that inflicts 20% reduced movement speed and 10% reduced damage dealt. Unless specified, debilitate lasts 1 second. Okay. Huh. Because so that's quite the buff here from 3 meters to 30 meters. Okay, shockproof now gives us 10% increased armor. Heatproof now also gives us 10% increased armor. Voracious here, a bit changed. 20% of leeches instant is now out window, and it's 50% increased attack speed while leeching. Okay. Okay, I don't know if we covered this, but backup plan used to be 50% increased armor if you haven't been hit lately. Recently, and 50% increased evasion rating if you haven't been hit recently. Now it's 20% increased armor and evasion rating. It's 40% increased evasion rating if you've been hit recently, and it's 40% increased armor if you haven't been hit recently. Okay, so the changes here is like there is a nerf to the armor and evasion if you haven't been hit lately, or if you've been hit recently. Sorry, if you haven't been hit recently, or if you have been hit recently, to the respective out of the two. They have both been nerfed by 10%, but we have gained 20% increased armor and evasion rating. Banner skills has been nerfed a little bit. It's now a 12% increased arrow effect, nerfed down from 15, so that's a 3% nerf. Both of them. Same with this. So we have some leech changes here. So 10% increased amount of life leached has been changed to 8. So that's a nerf of 2%. Same here, same here. This middle one here, 20% increased amount of life leached, and leech life is 25% faster, has been replaced with 20% increased damage while leeching, 10% increased attack speed while leeching, and also 30% increased armor and evasion while leeching. Okay. That's cool. I like that one. That one would go great with my vampiric huntress, my vampiric ritualists. This one right here, Vaal Pact. Life Leech is instant, out of the window. Cannot use Life Flask is out of the window. Being replaced by 50% more amount of life leeched. Leech life 67% less quickly. Couldn't it say slower? Cannot recover life other than from leech, and also life leech effects are not removed when unreserved life is full. Yeah, that's interesting that they say less quickly instead of slower. Okay, so, but there are some changes to the Vaal Pact. Last ones down here, my dudes. Inspiring Leader. So banners also grant 25%, plus 25% to all elemental resistances to you and your allies. Is now, banners also grant 25% to all elemental resistances affected targets. Is this a rephrasing? I think it is, right? It's just a rephrasing. So instead of to you and allies, it is now affected targets. I think that's just a rephrasing. Here we have another nerf to the banner area. It's nerfed by 3% from 15 to 12. Also, the more leech down here, that is nerfed by 2%. And here we have 10% increased amount of life leached, and 10% increased physical damage out the window, and we have 1% increased maximum life and 8% increased amount of life leached replaced. So increased amount of life leached is reduced by 2%, and the increased physical damage is replaced by 1% increased maximum life. We got the goring here. 10% nerf to the increased amount of life leached. The increased physical damage is out the window. And the reduced maximum life is out the window, actually replaced with 3% increased maximum life instead of 3% reduced. Another nerf here of 2% to the life leech. Life leech effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. This is out the window, and now it's 40% increased damage while leeching life. And that's it, my dudes. That was it. That was it. That was it for the changes, my dudes. So now we've been over in the first video, we went over the additions to the tree. Now we actually been over the changes to the tree. And the additions, I also very quickly covered what is being removed. Like there is not nearly as many things that are like flat up removed compared to like what's added or what's being changed. So there's been a lot of additions, there's been a lot of changes. I hope you enjoyed going through them with me right here. I'm Mounts and Fairy Tales. I'm not failing. I'm you know what? I'm not Fairy Tales, okay? I'm Mounts and Fairy Tales. You are you. If you like what you're seeing, hit me up with a like. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. But that's going to be it for this one. These are the changes, and I hope to catch you in the next one. So just making a quick description here. So changes to tree. And all right. Yeah, this changes part was actually yeah, turning out to be a little bit longer than the additions. So yeah, I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna get some water. BRB. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I mean, what we didn't actually go over, we actually didn't go over like um the ascendancy stuff on the tree. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that, to be honest. Just quickly fixing my mic stand here. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go through like the ascendancy stuffs, to be honest. Okay, what else did I want to check out? So like, yeah, we did have this patch yesterday. And they've also added like I was barely just touching on this a little bit earlier, but like the skill tree, you can now actually see the skill tree on the website here. This is not the updated, it's not the 0.5 skill tree for now, it's the 0.4 skill tree. But if you go here to game and you hit passive skill tree, you can actually see the the skill tree here. Okay, so now we can't see it for some reason. I don't know why is it broken or something? Okay, we should be able to see it. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, I just had to reset my browser here. Refresh. Yeah, so we basically can't see the skill tree now on the website here. But I mean, it doesn't do a lot for us, actually. I mean, I think it's more just like as a, you know, just to show off the tree, basically. Um, like the uses for it on the website itself is yeah, it's more like a showcase, you know, more just like a showcase of the things. Don't think there is any more. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, there are some new videos that we actually haven't seen. So there is this showcase of the martial arts ascendancy. There are some the like the recap of the delirium, the recap of the ritual updates. But there is going to be this free weekend. This one we actually haven't seen, and also the Twitch drops we haven't seen. What's coming for launch of 0.5. The delirium changes and the ritual changes and like the martial artist I've kind of already seen. I don't know if I want to like watch it again. Like I've basically already seen this in the reveal. But what we haven't seen is the free weekend free cosmetics.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. On May 29th, we'll be launching our next content update for PoE 2, The Return of the Ancients. But not only that, Path of Exile 2 will be free to play for the weekend, and for the
Gotta pull those players in, you know?
first time, we have a 50% off sale if you want to buy a
Okay, that's quite nice.
key. If you've been waiting for the right time to jump in, this is it. Players on PC, Steam, Epic, and Xbox will get 3 days of free access to our biggest update yet, as well as a new league, the Runes of Elder. By playing Runes of Elder during the free weekend, you'll also be able to earn some cosmetics for your character. In the league, you'll carve powerful runes into ancient remnants. But why stop there? Reach Clearfell Encampment to unlock the Ezomite Runescar's character skin that covers.
Oh, okay. So just by reaching the encampment, this is what we're getting. The only thing you have to do is kill the miller, and you will get the Azumite Rune Scars character skin.
Covers your character in bloody runic markings, inspired by Azumite ritual traditions. Probably best not to attempt this one in real life though.
No.
Themed around the gothic atmosphere of the Chapel of the Fallen in Ogham Manor, the Candlemass portal effect transforms your portal into one befitting the living right. A worthy reward for those who can defeat Count Geonor at the end of Act 1.
Okay, so we're getting this portal effect by defeating Geonor. That is kind of that is actually kind of a cool portal effect.
These microtransactions are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power in any way.
Okay, so it's basically the I mean, like the cut up skin and the and this portal right here, and it's gonna be just for, you know, getting through Act 1, basically.
We hope you enjoy the Return of the Ancients, and we'll see you on May 29th.
Yes, we will see you on the May 29th. So, regardless of these cosmetics, dudes, I'm playing. Okay, so what is this? Launch drops? Twitch. Okay, so these are the Twitch drops right here, right? Yeah, so the free weekend and the free cosmetics, that's what you're gonna get for, like, you know, just playing the game. But there's also gonna be some Twitch drops. So if you're watching on Twitch, I mean, you can watch me or any other creator in the Path of Exile 2 directory, I guess, that like has the drops enabled. You can actually gain stuff also from just watching the Twitch streams at a certain point here. So let's get some more info on how to get these Twitch drops.
I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. During the launch of Return of the Ancients, we're running 2 weeks of Twitch drops, as well as a supporter streamer campaign. During the first week of launch, you'll be able to claim the Arbiter of Ash waypoint.
So the support the streamer one is really cool. I really hope someone's gonna support me on the support the streamer program.
By watching your favorite creators in the Path of Exile 2 category for 3 hours. In week 2, you can claim the Wendigo's Crown helmet attachment. Support your favorite creators by gifting 2 subs or subscribing to 2 channels in the Path of Exile 2 category to claim the Verisium Parasite pet.
Bro, that's a cool pet.
Embrace the Infinite Void with the Arbiter of Ash waypoint. Should other exiles visit your hideout, they will be covered in ash upon entering.
What? That's cool.
Become the Nameless with the Wendigo's Crown helmet attachment. It offers 6 variations, allowing you to choose any combination you like, with or without visual effects. In addition, the helmet attachment tracks your kills across different types of monsters. Beasts, humans, demons, constructs, or undead. Not all Verisium spawns desperately want to end you, some simply need a little love. Like this Verisium Parasite pet. That's a good boy. All of these items are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power.
Bro, that's so cool.
In any way.
Yeah, so you can actually get that pet by gifting 2 subs to your favorite Path of Exile 2 creator, or you can sub to different creators if you want. Like 2 subs is what's needed, which is really cool. I just unlocked my the ability to sub on my channel, so like I really hope someone is gonna take advantage of this also, so I can like get to testing the how the sub system works. I just unlocked it, my dudes. I just unlocked it. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. So okay, so that's the drops that you're gonna be getting from like watching Twitch streamers, and also by subbing. So you can get that Wendigo helmet thing, which basically comes in 6 variations with and without effects. Yeah. What else? Yeah, the portal thing. Yeah. Hopefully that's gonna be good. Like the pet is really cool. I think the pet is is very interesting. This little dude right there.
Spawns desperately want to end you, some simply need a little love. Like this Verisium parasite pet. That's a good boy.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. It's kind of nasty and kind of cute at the same time, you know. All right, so that's the drops and the sub rewards you can get from subbing during launch. So week 1, Arbiter of Ash Waypoint. Week 2, these are the Twitch drops. Week 1 Twitch drop, Arbiter of Ash Waypoint, covering the people that enters your hideout in Ash. Week 2 Twitch drops is the Crown Helmet attachment, which comes with some cool variations, and also that it counts your kills in the different the different monster types, I think. And then it's the support a streamer thing, where you can get the pet. That's where you actually need to not only watch, but actually support a streamer by subbing 2 subs, gifting 2 subs, or subbing to 2 different channels. Yeah. That's that covered. Okay, is there anything else? Like, are there any news? Let me see. Oh, what's this? Return of the Ancients launch Discord quest? Complete the Path of Exile 2 Return of the Ancient quest on Discord by playing Path of Exile 2 for 15 minutes to receive the exclusive Rune Seeker avatar? Okay, how do we do this? Okay, so how do we participate? So on PC, once the quest launches on May 29th, accept it in the Discord client. Play Path of Exile 2 for 15 minutes with the Discord client open, and receive your exclusive Rune Seeker avatar. Okay. Looks kind of cool. So how you do it on console, select console when accepting the quest in the Discord. Sign into your PlayStation or Xbox account and link it to Discord. You can find instructions for PlayStation here and Xbox here. Play Path of Exile 2 for 15 minutes. Receive your exclusive Rune Seeker's avatar. Okay. Will the Rune Seeker avatar be available for purchase in the Discord store? No, you can only receive it by participating in this quest. How long can I use the avatar for? You can use the avatar for 2 months without Discord Nitro. Subscribers to Discord Nitro will be able to keep the decoration for an extended period. More information on this can be found here. Oh, okay. So it's not something that's going to be forever yours, I guess. It's not something that you're going to be able to add to your eternal treasure chamber. It's only like a limited time thing. Okay. All right. Anything else? Yeah, the filter information. Yeah, we actually did not look at this one. To help you get ready for the launch of Path of Exile 2 Return of the Ancients, we have prepared all the item filter information you need below. We got spoilers here, my dudes. If you don't want to see these spoilers, look away now. If you want to have a look, a quick peek, don't look away now. Okay, so these are the new items here. Okay, so we have 3 Vaal. Yeah, so these 3 infusers, so they kind of like decided to do some changes to the to like the Vaal currencies, stackable currencies, right? The Vaal stackable currency is going to be, yeah, like the blacksmith, arcanist, and catalyzing infuser. So what I think, if I remember correctly, like the blacksmithing one is going to be like the one for weapons, martial weapons. Arcanist one is going to be the one for, it's going to be the one for the spellcaster weapons, like the wands and the magical staves. And the infuser, that's going to be the armor one, right? Let's have a look at PoE2DB here. See if we can find some information here. Okay, items. Can we do a search here for just like Vaal Infuser? Yeah, okay, so this is just like the current economy of it. So I guess we don't have this item. Like we don't have any more like information on this item just yet. I guess. Could be some more info on the, like, on the website, on another website maybe. But like, yeah, so if I remember correctly, like these different infusers are gonna be very specific for like specific things. So yeah, the things I just mentioned, the blacksmithings or the blacksmiths for like the martial weapons, the arcanist for like the magical staves and wands, and the catalyzing infuser I think is gonna be like the armor one. Got some one new essence here. Essence of the Breach. I wonder what that's gonna be. Do we have any info on this? I don't think we have any information on this. Okay, so we're gonna get some refined, a bunch of these like refined catalysts. So one of the changes to the catalysts now is that they're not gonna drop, like they're only gonna drop. Okay, so how is this now? I gotta remember correctly here. So the catalysts are no longer gonna be like dropping in the regular map versions, right? Of the breach mechanic. It's only gonna be dropping at like a later point, if I remember correctly. So I wonder what the difference is gonna be, like the refined, like what's the refined ones gonna do compared to like the existing ones. Okay, we got some liquid emotions here. Ancient. Oh, hold on. Some ancient ones, and some potent ones. Okay, so these are new liquid emotions here, ancient and potent. Interesting. So these are all like currency items, basically. Shattered Triskelion, I have no idea what this is. Altered Collarbone? What? What does that mean? Verisium, Exceptional Verisium. Yeah, this is the currency we're going to be using for the rune forging, right? The rune forge crafting. Crest of the Medvets, Crest of the Circle, Verona's Crest of the Sight, Uthred's Crest of the Chalice, and Olroth's Crest of the Sun. Okay. Because we got the alloys: Runic, Adaptive, Protective, Expansive, Swift, Cyclonic, Prismatic, Mystic, Sovereign, and Celestial. Bro, that's a whole lot of different alloys. We're getting some ore here. Venerable Starlit Ore, Revered Starlit Ore, Veridical Starlit Ore, and Warding Starlit Ore. I wonder what these ore things are. And Starlit Ore, yeah. And some Flux, Blazing Flux, Chilling Flux, Crackling Flux, Void Flux, and the Cryptic Key. Okay. And that's all the new currency items that's being added, basically. Right? Stackable currency. So now for the item class. Skill gems. Yeah, I think these are... So I think these are all the new Kalguran skills right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think these are all active skill gems right here. 23 active skill gems. I hope they are all active skill gems. It's gonna be so fun to discover all these like new skill gems. And we got a bunch of support gems as well. Tangmasus, Durable. Kappa's Brilliance. Yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting to see what these are gonna do. Fists of Kalgur. And here is a bunch of new runes here. And as we can see here, we have some perfected versions. So we have some, excuse me, we have some perfect versions of like the existing runes that we are already using, which is really interesting. So these are basically the runes that we are using to kind of give us more defenses. So these are socketables that we socket in our gear and our weapons. So the perfect ones, I guess they are gonna be like stronger, you know? They're gonna be the stronger one. This is interesting. Another kind of tier to the runes here. So Masterwork rune. A bunch of new idols here. Emergent Vigor, Emergent Possibility. Yeah, so these are all augments. So these are all gonna be items that we can put into our equipment. So there is a lot of discussions going around at the moment that like people, like a lot of people that have been playing a lot of Path of Exile 1, they just can't understand like why we can just have the crafting bench. Why we need all these new items and runes and stuff. Because the way it works in Path of Exile 1 is a little bit different. Or like there is a lot of things you can do with the crafting bench. When you unlock the crafting bench, there is a lot of things you can do. When it comes to like deterministically crafting specific modifiers on your gear. So in Path of Exile 2 it works a little bit different. Like some people think that the crafting bench is like eventually gonna come to Path of Exile 2. But for right now there is no like yeah, we have no indication that it's coming. It's yeah, things works a little bit different basically. Warding rune, charging rune, ward rune, raven touched shard, ancient runes, rune of vitality. Yeah, there is so many things here. Like these ones looks pretty cool. The legacy ones. Because the legacy ones seems like they are taking so like all of these names right here, they are basically like names that are connected to unique items. So a lot of the unique items, you know, in the game has like these very specific modifiers to them, like that makes them that's kind of like what makes them unique. And I wonder if this is like, if these runes, these like these legacy augments are gonna allow us to put like very specific effects, like similar to what the uniques is giving us, like, but it's giving us the same thing in just like an augment, right? Which means that you could basically, so let's say you have let's say you have trample toe, which is boots, right? So let's say that you have some boots that you are really happy with, and you have a socket on them, and you're able to kind of like add this legacy of trample toe to them. That's gonna make it like you have a bunch of those really good stats that you actually want on your boots, and then you can have this modifier that's gonna make like your boots similar to the, or have some like trample toe effects. It's really interesting. It's gonna be really interesting to see how that works. Some map fragments also being added. Pinnacle keys, Call of the Shadows, Omens, Alder Saga, Medved Saga, Varana Saga, Uthred Saga, Olrot Saga, and Omen of Chaotic Effectiveness. I wonder why these are actually in the Omen section here. If they are like specific omens, like they are called Saga. I don't know if that's like if it's gonna act the same way as an omen, or yeah, I have no idea. So we have some cool things here about the rings, though. We're getting some 2-stone rings. That's really cool. Biostatic rings. So these are basically base types, right? I guess. 3 different type of 2-stone rings. So usually how they work. So basically it's gonna be like they're the 2-stone rings. Basically, usually they have like a hybrid resistance, right? That's kind of like how it works. Let's have a look at the 2-stone rings in PoE. So how they work is that they grant a implicit modifier that grants a combination of 2 elemental resistances, basically. So that's usually that's what they do. That's like the really cool thing. So you have the fire and cold, the fire and lightning, and the cold and lightning. So you know, on the rings that we already have, like we have the ruby ring. The ruby ring basically has the fire resistance implicit. The sapphire has the cold. The topaz has the lightning. The amethyst has the chaos. So the amethyst is not actually in the same category because it's not covered by the 2 stones here. So what I would believe is that we're gonna be getting like a similar thing to this. So we're gonna get 3 new like types of 2-stone rings, and it's gonna give us like the implicit is gonna give us like 2 resistances instead of just 1. I mean, obviously, probably like the number is gonna be, hey, Lynx, what's up? The numbers are gonna be lower, so I don't think we're gonna get like the same numbers as on like just like the straight up like 1 implicit resistant ring. So it's gonna be a little bit lower. Lynx is raiding with a party of 2. What's up, my dudes? How are you doing? Have you been testing out your streaming, Lynx? Like, is it working better for you now? Yeah, we're just going over some of the items that's being added in 0.5. We got the item filter information here. So yeah, we're just checking that out. We got some new amulet base types as well. Veridical Chain, Lament, Portent, Absent, Corona, and Distorted. Yeah, PoE 2 you have yet to try. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that was the game that you were struggling with streaming, right? But the rest is good. Yeah, but PoE 2 was the one you were struggling with, right? Okay, so we're getting a new two-handed mace base type as well. A Baron Sledge. Warding Quarterstaff, new Quarterstaff base type. Like, I wonder if this base Quarterstaff is gonna be like... If it's gonna be like a higher level requirement. I wonder. Wands, Twisted Wand, and Runic Fork. New wand base types. Also a perching staff. Like, I guess this is a magical staff. So this is not a quarterstaff, it's a magical staff. It seemed fine on that 3-minute test, which was better than the last 3-minute actual stream. Yeah, good. Okay, we got some helmet base type here as well. Ancient Visor, Ancient Leggings, some gloves, Ancient Gauntlets. Also some new body armor base types here. Ornate Ring Mail, Ancient Mail, Grasping Mail, and Primal Markings. Yeah, and also the Expedition Logbook. Yeah, so like this is being changed. Logbooks are not going to work as they used to. So this is going to be a change. Now, we use the logbook to freaking like open up an entire biome out in the sea. I guess like an entire island system, which is going to be a little bit different than how it has been working up until now. Getting some new belt types as well. Stalking Belt, Invoking Belt, Sinew Belt, and Forking Belt. And a new tower shield, Glacial Fortress. Bro, that sounds cool. Is that gonna be like a cold-based shield of some kind? Okay. And a new Targe. That's also a shield. Venerable Defender. And also the template, Precursor Tablet. Yeah, I'm really excited to see like how the temple now has been... When the temple goes core, how it's actually gonna compare to how it was last league. So are you guys excited? Have you guys decided what you're gonna be playing? So the people that's raiding with links here, what are you playing for League Start? I assume you are all playing Path of Exile 2, right? So what is your League Starters, my dudes? Links will be playing. What about the rest of your party and the other PoE 2 players? Yeah, so here we have the renamed items. So this is basically what we started with. Especially like this Vaal Infuser thing. So the Vaal Infuser is renamed to Vaal Armor's Infuser. And they're also adding a couple of more infusers, right? Verisium Cuffs are renamed to Kalguran Cuffs. Distorted Amulet is renamed to Twisted Amulet. Gladiator Helm renamed to Cassie Helm. Precursor Tablet renamed to Irradiated Precursor Tablet. Shock Conduction Eye renamed to Shock Conduction. Okay. Yeah. Your friend that normally... you think you might either go Druid, one of the Huntress, or Monks, because those two are upgraded. Your friend that normally plays with you might via console. Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, so Omen of Recombination is actually removed. I mean, the whole Recombinator is actually being removed this league, which is kind of crazy, but yeah. Like, I haven't really been using the Recombinator, So, but I'm not gonna miss it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's the item filter information that we have. People saying rest in peace Neversink. Because Neversink is like the dude that usually like organizes and makes all these cool filters. Yeah. So rip Neversink, I guess. Hopefully things are going to be ready for Leaguestarter. Or I mean, what's kind of crazy is that like the developers, they don't really think that you actually need any filters, you know. They think that you should just see everything that kind of like drops on the floor and decide to pick it up or not. But I mean, it can get pretty crazy in certain situations. And also it's kind of nice to, you know, be able to customize. It is kind of nice. Yeah, so what we've been doing for the most part of this session actually is we've been going through the actually going through the additions to the tree and also the changes to the tree. So I'm gonna upload I'm gonna upload 2 videos. I'm gonna upload the going over the additions to the tree, and I'm gonna also upload another video with the changes to the tree. So I kind of like have to get back into this this workflow where I'm actually, you know, also kind of making some videos while I am streaming. Because that's really what I want to do, really what I want to be doing. So I gotta get back into that. Yeah. But yeah, so Lynx is going either Druid and one of the new ascendancies. Yeah, but what do you have like a specific plan for like the Druid? Like, is there a specific direction you want to go in? Do you have any like ascendancy in mind, or like any skills you want to play in mind, or what's the plan? Bro, I can't decide. So for me, it's basically like just I think it's just going to be the order of things. To be honest, like the order of everything. Basically, I really want to try a lot of things. So I'm kind of torn between like the whole trying to get as fast to endgame on one character as possible and just like see the entire endgame and yeah, just bask in that for weeks. But at the same time, I don't want to kind of like go into that trap where I'm only going to be playing one character for the entire league and I'm just going to be like endlessly freaking farming the end game. So I'm trying to do a bunch of different things. That's like that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. So obviously I want to go to the end game and like explore all the new changes. But I actually really enjoy the campaign. I think the campaign is really cool, and I enjoy like the aspect of like just creating a character on the go, basically creating a build on the go. So so to me, it's just like I just have to decide what I'm gonna start with. If I'm gonna start with some of like the brand new stuff, or if I'm gonna go for something that's like already a little familiar. I have not yet decided, and I feel it's so hard to decide as well what to start. Like I am feeling kind of like the pull towards the 2 new ascendancies, like the Spirit Walker and the Martial Artist. I am kind of feeling the pull of those 2 because I really just want to kind of see how they work. But at the same time, I mean, it's no rush. I mean, the ascendancy classes are not going anywhere, so yeah. My brain is a little bit all over the place, to be honest, when it comes to like choosing a starter. Because it all depends, like, if your goal is to kind of like get fast to the end game, and experience all the new changes, like you would probably like want to go with something familiar or something you know that you can get pretty fast to the end game, right? But if you just want to explore something new, you just want to do something new, you would probably go for something that you haven't done before to get that whole experience. And I think it's going to be cool because, like, with the new league and everything, and like the rune forging and the new crafting and the quality of life stuff, like the streamlining of the campaign, hopefully, like, what I really hope is that campaign is going to feel like faster, basically, because there's so many different things I want to try. Basically. So many things I want to try. But yeah, we are in between leagues right now. So we are currently, last night, all our or yeah, I mean, it's like 15 hours ago, I guess, or something. 14 hours ago, we all got migrated to standard league. So the 0.4 is over, and we have 3 days and 4 hours and 30 minutes. So basically, my time is going to be like 10 in the evening on Friday. That's when 0.5 launches. So what we are doing in the meantime, my dudes? What are we doing in the meantime? I basically have 3 days and 4 hours, you know, or 3 days to kind of decide what I want to start. But I feel like I'm not going to decide based on the information that we have. I'm going to try to decide for me what's going to be the best that's going to like help the rest of the characters that I'm going to have to drag through the campaign. Because if I'm able to do what I usually, like what my goal always is to freaking try everything. So I can say in 0.5, I tried it all. You know, that's kind of like the goal. So like when I started, like when I did my very first streaming sessions, I was actually playing Diablo 4. And my goal was also back then to kind of like try everything. Like I wanted to try every single class, wanted to just try everything live on stream, just to get some like reacts to all the classes, all the ascendancies, and create builds out of that. But the Diablo 4, you know, it turned out to not be in that state, at least at launch, where I was able to do that. And bro, it's gonna be rough to do this in Path of Exile 2 when we got freaking all the 36 ascendancies in the game. When we got the 3 ascendancies for all the 12 base classes. That's gonna be quite the task. But I think it's a great practice just in general to just like pick something totally random, like a total random ascendancy, and just go with it. I really enjoy that aspect. So that's kind of like what I did. I think that was like, yeah, what was that, like a week ago? I started on the Ritualist, which was like a total random freaking spin the wheel. I think that's really cool. If you are in a situation where you just can't not decide what you want to play, what you want to try, because it's just like too overwhelming, I think that's a good way to approach it. So yeah, I mean, it all depends. It all depends what we want to do, what we want to achieve. What I want to achieve is I want to learn as much as possible. I want to get as much information as I possibly can out of the like the updates, because I feel like then I really actually have a solid foundation to actually mean something at all about this game, to be honest. Like, I feel like, yeah, I need to get my stripes when it comes to, my stripes and my stars, you know, when it comes to understanding this game. It's a big, complicated situation right here, my dudes. The biggest update ever. 3 days, my dudes. Yeah, so these are all of the things that that's like added to the end game. So there's so many things. So I'm being so torn between like just wanting to get to end game and like explore all the new things, and just like making new builds, starting fresh, you know, running through the campaign. Exploring the fortress. Beyond the walls lies more than first meets the eye. The fortress holds many paths to explore and many new things to find. Power up ancient machines, fight new and deadly foes, discover new depths, and uncover dark secrets buried within. Yeah, I want to see this. I want to play this. Reshaped Atlas tree. Yeah. The crazy thing about the new Atlas tree is that we are actually able to freaking pick all the nodes. Like, just exactly how this works, I don't quite understand yet, but like being able to juice the Atlas, like take all the nodes, it's pretty crazy. Behold the first edict. Yeah, this is the Arbiter of Divinity, right? Should you press onward to the fortress heart, a mighty foe awaits. And he is gonna have the chance to drop the Ordained, I guess. Righteous Descent. It's an attack. AoE melee slam, physical lightning travel, leap into the air, carried by divine wings, damaging enemies with your spear where you land. If there is a fragment of divinity near you, or the target location, this attack will consume it when you leap to become empowered, dealing more damage and granting life and mana recovery. This skill does not use up its cooldown when empowered. Plus 2 seconds to total attack time, converts 40% of physical damage to lightning damage. Will consume a fragment of divinity, yeah. So how do we get the fragments of divinity? Yeah, create the fragment of divinity in your presence every 4 seconds. Ah, okay, so it's actually creating the fragments. So if we are able to kind of time it with the fragments, it's going to do a lot more damage, right? Life Leech recovers based on your lightning damage as well as physical damage. So Life Leech is based on lightning and physical damage. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, it is an interesting spear. So what's really cool about these new uniques, right, is that they actually have these like these new skills tied to them that are kind of interesting, you know? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to try these things out. I do get like ideas how I could use this. But that means I need to get kind of like a little bit out of my head or out of my zone when it comes to like how I'm thinking about very specific builds. So lately I've been like I couldn't sleep last night, and I was thinking, okay, what if I try to go for like a monk, but I don't want to use like necessarily like the obvious quarterstaff weapon, but I want to do like a spear or like a bow or something like this, and this kind of really leans into that. Like it gives me ideas. And we got the new masters that can give us like these different effects, which is really interesting. Specialize your atlas. And the new monk ascendancy, the new huntress ascendancy, the new league, the remnants, the power of Verisium, bro. The new Kalguran skills. Bro, so many things. But what I feel is really cool about the concept of these new Kalguran skills is that it kind of incentivizes us to basically like think a little bit different of you know how we make our builds, I think. Which is really cool because you're not no longer kind of like locked into like the specific weapon types for the skills and stuff. You are now kind of like, it kind of opens up a lot more. So obviously you're gonna pick some type of like strategy of like what weapon type you're gonna be using, but these like Kalguran skills are gonna probably switch up a lot. Like hopefully it's gonna open up a lot more. 5 new Kalguran bosses, bro. And here they are showing more of the uniques here. The Twisted Empyrean. Starborn Onslaught. Build up glory by freezing or chilling enemies. When you have maximum glory, you may jump backwards, losing your mace with the force of a falling comet onto your target. Impact releases fissures and causes stars to fall in the area for a brief period. Yeah, so many crazy things. So many crazy things, my dudes. But I have promised my youngest minion that we are gonna be playing some Minecraft, and he is getting impatient. So I'm gonna end this session right now. And yeah, he's banging at the door, scraping at the door. He wants to play Minecraft. So I'm gonna end this session, my dudes. I hope to catch you in the next one. If you like what you see, hit me up with a like. If you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. But the youngest minion is ready to play some Minecraft. So can you say bye?
Bye.
Yeah, into the camera. Bye. Bye. See you later. Off to play some Minecraft.
Bye.
Yeah, catch you later, guys. Thank you for watching.
That was game